Hello, my name is Professor Jarpa Dawuni. I'm an Associate Professor of Political Science at Howard University and the founder of the non-profit organization, the Institute for African Women in Law. I am glad to be joining you for this conference virtually, and I congratulate the organizers of this conference and their advocacy towards anti-harassment in the workplace. In 2023, the Institute for African Women in Law conducted research across 4 countries in Africa: Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and Senegal, to examine the experiences of women lawyers, judges, and legal academics across these countries. We produced 10 reports across the 4 countries. The findings showed that among the challenges women face in the world of work within the legal and judicial professions, sexual harassment was one of them. Here is an example of one of the experiences shared by an interviewee.
He ordered me to accompany him to attend court out of town. After the court session, he refused to drive back and booked one room in the town. I had no money, so I could not get my room, and my protests fell on deaf ears. What happened to me in the room was the most horrible experience I have ever had. I had to fight to ward off his sexual advances physically. He slapped me. But thank God I fought hard enough. Of course, that was the end of my job once we returned to the office. I quit.
This video is a real life situation. This is one of many other shared experiences from women in law within the continent. The experience you've just seen is not limited to the continent of Africa alone. The International Bar Association and the American Bar Association have conducted separate research which show that sexual harassment and bullying are rampant within the legal professions. So what does that mean for this day and for this conference on anti-harassment in the world of work? My role here is to speak about why the International Day Against Harassment is relevant. Harassment of any form, whether sexual, physical, or verbal, it's not conducive for the work environment. It should not be allowed, but continuously we see this still happening. I will give you 3 simple reasons. Simple in the sense of it should be obvious, but not so simple because these are issues that continue to affect women in the workplace. Harassment in the workplace can lead to several negative outcomes. Number 1, harassment leads to a reduction in the morale of workers. Where women face harassment and have no opportunities to report, or where they report but have no redress, it reduces their morale in the place of work. 2, harassment in the workplace reduces productivity. When women are victims of harassment, the constant fear they live with can have mental implications, which leads to reduced productivity, which eventually affects the bottom line of the workplace. Number 3, harassment in the place of work eventually contributes to high attrition rates. Where a victim of harassment or victims of harassment do not feel heard, seen, or supported, the only option left in most cases is for them to leave the place of work. And with that goes the experience they have earned and the opportunities they could have brought to the place of work thereby affecting the company's bottom line. So how do we address these issues? Workplaces must put in place policies that not only seek to address these issues, but provide support for victims of harassment. Continuous workplace training, awareness, and advocacy against harassment is essential. Most importantly, managers and supervisors must receive training to understand the implications for victims and the implications for the place of work. And that is why at the Institute for African Women in Law, we have drafted a policy to push for awareness about the challenges women in law face across the continent of Africa. The Gender Equality in Law campaign was launched in Accra, Ghana, and has since then received massive support from law firms, judiciaries, and legal institutions across the continent. In our efforts to address harassment, the policy also addresses unequal pay, unequal hiring and promotion, and gender biases and stereotypes. These resources are available on our website for free download. Join us in the campaign for gender equality in the place of work, within the legal professions across Africa and the diaspora. Together, we can make a change by raising awareness on the issues of harassment, advocating for change, and activating our policies and other actions in workplaces to ensure that women are not only equally represented in numbers, but that their substantive issues are addressed by their places of work. When women in workplaces thrive, organizations stand to gain. Together, let us join this day of anti-harassment, and together we can push for a world that creates equal and equitable opportunities for all to thrive in the place of work. I will end with this African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. If organizations, institutions, and other bodies want to go far in their businesses, in their mission, and in whatever policies they create to create a competitive edge for themselves, they can go far by working with women and by creating opportunities that would make women thrive in the place of work. Thank you for listening. Together, we can be the change we want to see.